Good morning on Monday, 11 a.m. What's going on?
Yo.
Mr. John, what you got going on? Anything new with you?
Yeah, a couple of things, actually. I finally started in on that book that I wanted to write, Trips I've Taken.
There you go. How's that going?
Pretty cool. It's kind of a chore trying to remember everything that happened.
I was going to say, I imagine that it's not the easiest book to write considering the subject matter.
Yeah, so disclaimer, there is a bit of embellishing. I am taking artistic license. But the foundation for everything is true. But I'm gonna market it as a fiction book because I figure, might as well, you know.
Semi-fiction, I suppose.
It's like
that was an actual genre.
It kind of is. It's like all those based on a true story kind of thing,
right?
Like,
true based.
Yeah,
man, that's true. Yeah. It could just be the only real fact is the fact that I'm in it, and that could be the only real truth, and it's still based on the true story.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too far left of center, but I mean, it's pretty fantastical.
Nice.
I have a show tonight. That's fun.
For
the San Antonio peeps who hear this in 4
tonight,
days.
I was gonna say by tonight he means 4 days ago.
But playing Ventura with a couple of my friends who are in other bands.
Nice.
That's pretty fun. We have a little what is it? The Siesta Before Fiesta is what they're calling it. Yeah.
There you go.
So thanks, Mystery. Shout out. What else? Going tomorrow to record the last 3 tracks to the EP.
Nice.
And was talking to photographers, so I'm gonna have that set up. Do a little photo shoot ski.
Awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have that all wrapped up by June, ready for distribution.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
Oh, and still not sleeping, working a lot.
There you go.
Patrick?
Just been playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, so they're
Nice.
doing that in between work and whatnot, and working on this and other editing projects. But I got to Fuchsia City last night, or not last night, the night before, because I was up last night, or aggregating all the stories that we're supposed to talk about today, so didn't have much time other than that. But I've been playing that as much as I can. I think I have like a good 30-40 hours in it now. So
Nice.
It's fun.
And this is a reskin of Gen 1?
Yes, correct.
Go
ahead.
Is it advanced in the timeline, or what era does it take place?
It's the Professor Oak story and all that stuff.
But is it Fire Red's timeline?
It depends on which one you got. If you got the Pikachu one, it's yellow. If you have Eevee, it's red and blue.
But it's Gen 1, not Gen 3, Gen 1?
No. It's just Gen 1.
Okay.
There's only 151 Pokemon that exist.
No, but you know how there's Fire Red and Red?
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 disparate timelines.
Oh, no. It's Game Boy Red.
Okay. That's cool, and that's classic throwback.
Yeah, exactly. Except that they have all the new features of the newer games, including the Alolan versions of each of them, so that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
They introduce the fact that exists already.
Okay. Huh.
So it's that timeline, but they kind of adjusted it to fit in all the stuff they made up later on.
Okay.
So there's that. I do like the luxury of life features. I like the fact that there aren't... I know some people are going to tell me that this is not what Pokemon is, but fuck you. But I like the fact that I can actually see the Pokemon in the grass, so if I don't want to fight that son of a bitch, I walk around him like I would in real life.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that, yeah.
Yeah, when they all pop up, you can just see everybody in the grass. Now, of course, the game play itself is a mix of regular Pokemon and Pokemon Go. You battle the trainers, but the way you catch Pokemon is like Pokemon Go. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of column A and column B. I think it's a good blend. It's a good amount. I think what it is the perfect amount of casual. It's a game that was designed by someone who has a job.
I can see that. That's cool.
It's not designed by someone who's like, God damn, this needs to have... Dude, no game has to have more than 8 hours anymore. I don't care. it has to be enough for me to beat now because I don't have time.
Well, but you're talking Pokemon fan. Like, personally, I've put at least, let's see, in Diamond, I had about 400 hours.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing I was going to say is that it doesn't take away with how much work you put in. It's just the way you go about that work's different. I mean, the shiny encounter rate's still the same. Although you can kind of bonus it a bit by... If you do catch the same Pokemon over and over and over again, you have a slightly better chance of getting the shiny version. Not by any means. I'm still talking like 1 in a few thousand.
Is there a same algorithm for Pokemon Go itself? Because I think I have sitting on 10 shinies in Go right now.
I want to say it does, and that would make sense with how much you've played it.
Yeah, and I play a pretty decent amount.
I
at
have
least
0
once
shinies
a day.
because I've probably played a fraction of what most people have played Pokemon Go. I mean, I enjoyed it, But, going outside and whatnot, that's too much work. So
I have a couple of doubles if you want to trade.
Nice.
I think I have an extra Totodile.
Man, it's cool that they've added all that stuff since trading.
Great.
Battling. I don't know. Battling looked jank. I don't know how good that actually is.
I haven't tried it yet.
It still doesn't look as fun as actual battling like in the proper Pokemon games. But yeah. But going back to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, I think that the thing that's going to fuck me in this is when Sword and Shield come out. Because they're going to take all the way these luxury of life things that I love now. Honestly, I wish the Pokemon mainline games would go like this direction. I like this direction. Maybe add battling to catch. That's the thing. They even have hybrid of that too. Like when you... spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to get fucked on that. Are you cool with hearing it?
That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I know.
Like when they actually do introduce kind of the traditional style of catching Pokemon in the sense that when you first, I believe this first happens with Snorlax, and then they say that it can happen later on. I haven't got past. I just got the Snorlax. Yeah. So
fucking Snorlax owns
when you fight Snorlax, you first fight him in a battle, then you do the Pokemon Go thing.
Oh.
Instead of kind of how it's separate,
like
now they kind of hybrid it.
Not in the game, most like in the
catching,
show.
Yeah, exactly. Like catching most Pokemon is just throw the Pokeball.
Yeah.
And then fight the trainers. You both give you XP, which level up your... I don't know, to me it's a lot more convenient. Again, it's perfect for somebody who doesn't have time.
Yeah.
I don't Eevee train. You can still do all that shit. That's all still in there. If you
I've never
do
done that
nature,
like,
anything. But
it's
cool though. I like it. Of course, the only way to get Mew... Now, it doesn't count against your completing your Pokedex, which is I like. People had... this is all old news for a lot of people. I just got my Switch the other week, so of course, I'm just catching up to what everyone's on right now. But the good thing is I jumped into it before anything super good came out. So I'm getting right on the train as it's hitting peak speed. But the only way to get Mew is to get the Pokeball Plus, because he's preloaded on there. And so, but the good thing is so some people see it as a forced pay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So a lot of people see it as the forced, like, pay to play thing, but to be fair, you don't need it to complete your Pokedex.
And how did we get Mew back in the day? You had to go to an event.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where they don't count it against you. To me, it's completely optional. He doesn't even count as a number. If you have him in your Pokedex, it's just blank and it shows Mew. So it's one of those things where, at least Nintendo didn't count it against you. Like, can't complete your Pokedex unless you get the Pokeball Plus. They didn't do that. It's just if you want Mew, you got to get the Pokeball Plus. To me, completely optional. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I guess, yeah, so Mew's just like Pokemon Zero.
Yeah, so. But anyways, that's been really good. Eating up a lot of my time, but in a good way, so I like it.
Cool.
It's been good. But that's it. Other than that, just working on this thing, literally most of my week is preparing the next week's podcast. There's that. I'm trying to play shit when I can in between.
Yeah.
I'm going to start playing the Mystery of... God damn, I can't remember. It's a really long-ass title. It's by Swery, Deadly Premonition, D4 and all that. So I'm excited. I'm going to start playing his latest game. The first game that he dropped with his new studio ever since he left fucking... Axis or whoever the fuck he left. I forgot the name of the company. But anyways, so I'm excited for that. Cool. Going into the non-gaming news, of course, Dirk Nowitzki playing his last game against... No, his last game ever, right?
Last game ever.
Not just against the Spurs.
Very appropriate.
Cool that it was against the Spurs.
Emotional. End of a fucking era, man.
Yeah, they made him a cool video tribute, which he got all choked up about. Definitely one of the greatest of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I can't name another 7-footer who shot threes as well as he did.
Not even Timmy.
Yep. He just was one of the most well-rounded. Him and Tim Duncan, I think, are two of the best power forwards of all time.
That fade.
There's a ton. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, but no.
But yeah, no, that was great. It's funny because he had that fade down so well. If he was going to go against someone like Yao Ming, but it still was so. It was just unbeatable.
Yep.
I can't. He's one of those players that you watch and you don't ever see him. You almost feel like you've never seen him miss. You probably have. Obviously, you literally have.
Yeah.
But he misses so seldom because he takes smart shots that you can't recall the last time that he misses. So he's a great player.
He's a great,
fantastic.
Not antagonist. And he was a great rival to Timmy.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
It was always a joy to watch us play the Mavs.
Yeah, absolutely. They were one of the best. They were one of the ones that gave us a run for money, especially when we were more defense-based with Bruce Bowen and whatnot, because they were so offensively focused.
Yeah.
That, man, they could just murder us sometimes because we couldn't stop them from shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, fantastic player, and good way to close it out. You know, he was a great player, and he will be missed. The league definitely, you know, lots of new players and young blood and good players that are coming in, but I doubt we'll ever see another Nowitzki for a while.
No, man, it's the end of an era. Like, really, he was the last one. You know. So
good on him, and congrats for a great career on him.
Yeah, take it easy, Dirk.
Yeah, take care, buddy. You earned it. You know, that actually reminds me of that one episode when it's not like I watch the show a lot, but I like how overcompensating that was. Like, I really didn't, but I did remember this episode particularly. I remember it was Punk'd, I think. I want to say it was, or Show Like It. I want to say it was Punk'd though.
Okay.
And Nowitzki was the one that they were pranking or whatever, and they kept sending this guy up to him with all this like different like other team shit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was like the chillest dude. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's such a good sport about it.
I'll sign that Shaq
sure,
jersey.
man, I'm at dinner with my wife, but whatever.
Yeah, I'll sign the Shaq jersey. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I mean, honestly, when it comes to nice people, I mean, it's insane because he had no clue that was a prank, and he's still that's the thing about that show I did enjoy is you got to see the true colors of some celebrities like Triple H and I believe Shaq was on there too.
Yeah, or there's Zach Baggins.
Not Zach Baggins. I was gonna say he wasn't even born yet.
What's the guy from Scrubs?
Oh yeah.
Zach Braff.
Zach Braff. Yeah, so some people are a little douchier than you'd like to know, but I mean, to be fair, like with Triple H, they were fucking around while he was like busy with a wedding thing. So I mean, I can kind of understand being a little emotional or like a little angry, you know. But I also imagine Triple H could just be easily annoyed,
especially if you're Sting.
Yeah, basically. So there's that. Moving on. So at the Dubai International Airport, did you hear recently what's been going on with that?
No, God, what happened?
So it's considered the second best airport in the world, which is cool. I mean, it's supposed to be really nice. Everything in Dubai is nice. I mean,
as far as
everything,
quality of service or
just in general, nicely built,
good.
Everything. Dubai being considered by many the nicest place on earth, heaven on earth, if you will, because of how everything there, you know, makes a lot of other places look like a trash fire. So I don't know, it's just really nice. Anyway, so what they started doing, because of the fact they have about 250,000 or more people go in and out of that airport every day, is how busy it is, which is insane to think about in sheer numbers.
Yeah.
So what they are doing is they are hiring DJs to play live sets instead of just having background music looping on a track. They're actually hiring proper DJs to play sets throughout the day and entertain the ambiance of the airport. So there's that.
That's really cool. That sounds like something Dubai.
Yeah, the first thing that they tried it, a DJ group called Holophonic was the inaugural one, and they did a live 2-hour set. Apparently that went really well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're curious on, you know, getting more DJs out there. I don't know if they mean internationally or just domestically, but you know, the club scene's pretty hot out there, so it's cool to hear that they're kind of bringing a flavor of it to the airport. I'm just curious if they have like LEDs and shit going on.
I know, right? Like, is there fog machines and shit?
But I'm fairly sure it's just, you know, just the background music. But kind of cool though, kind of cool. But, you know, instead of hearing generic '90s hits pumped in the background of the airport the entire day, you got to hear something like that. So I thought that was an interesting bit.
Oh, it's neat. I like that.
It's cool. What else do we got? We got Mark Hamill talking about Star Wars fatigue. In an interview recently, Mark Hamill was asked if he believed that Star Wars fatigue exists, considering the fact that Star Wars movies are coming out at a pace much faster than the original Star Wars movies. The old Star Wars movies came out, like, how often would this come out? Even the new trilogy.
The original trilogy was every 3 years. New trilogy was 99, 2001, and 2004, I believe. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And then now we have, like, 4 Star Wars movies a year.
Jeez, yeah.
So, anyway, so we're asking him if he believes it exists, and Mark Hamill did say that he believes it can.
Of course.
He said that he personally experienced it, and that he's even advised Disney against doing so many films in a short period of time, to which he also said, they never listen to my ideas anyway, so who cares? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit much.
Yeah,
because,
everyone feels that way.
Because having so many movies, you'll eventually dry the pot. It's why movies like Solo exist, which are some of the most mediocre heaps of film in general. The most nothing to happen in a movie in every time.
Great.
I don't know. To me, it was just an unnecessary movie. It was one of the many spin-offs that are coming out that seem to be like, why?
No,
like,
it's on par with well, to me, I know everyone's gonna rip me apart for this, but it's on par with Clone Wars. It's just here's another aspect of this story that is cool. It's part of the EU. I guess what was the EU?
Yeah.
But there's so many better stories you can tell from the EU.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like we already got the idea of what Han Solo was about, and the movie did deliver that. But it just seems so. Again, it was just such an unnecessary movie. Like,
well, it's a setup for Crimson Dawn, like for that story arc,
right? And then so we'll see what goes on with that. So
nothing apparent.
I was gonna say because I don't think they're doing anything with that.
Well, here's the problem: they're trying to. I mean, yeah, it is for kids, but they're marketing it to people who have the attention span of children.
Yes,
who need those 10-second bites. But no, adults love Star Wars. We are the fans who will pay money and bring the kids to see it. And it does get old. There's no time to enjoy anything to discuss.
Right, and that's a problem. But the thing is, it still makes its money, and that's what's causing this slew of movies to come out. Because until it stops selling, they're not going to stop. Because Disney knows that they can just make a ton of money off of that, as they do Marvel. Speaking of Marvel, all the Phase 4 movies were leaked yesterday, so all of them are confirmed with delivery with release dates. So after Spider-Man: Far From Home, you're gonna have Black Widow May 1st of 2020, The Eternals November 6th of 2020, and that's it for 2020. And then moving on to 2021, you're gonna have Black Panther 2 on February 12th, Doctor Strange 2 on May 7th. A movie called Shang-Chi, whoever the fuck that is, on November 5th, 2021. And then, I don't know if I was saying 2021, but I meant 2021. Yeah. And then finally, entering 2022, we have an unknown film dropping on February 18th, 2022. And then May 6th, 2022 is Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Damn, they're waiting that long for GOTG?
Yep.
Gee, well, that means we're not... Holy crap. That means we're not going to see Adam for another, 4 years? 3 years?
Probably 3 years.
Maybe 2 at most if he comes out in the
unnamed one. I was going to say, if he's the unknown one, then that would be February of 2022.
And I've heard the unknown is supposed to be the next Avengers movie.
You think so? Oh, wow, really?
That's what that's what I've seen in the headlines. Like, unnamed Avengers movie coming out. It's like, oh.
That's weird. Just because, isn't this one wrapping up the whole Avengers meme for now?
Well, I mean, yes and no, but the Avengers aren't solely slated to Cap and Iron Man. I mean, you can have other Avengers, plus there's the West Coast Avengers, the Dark Avengers, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. I don't know what they're going to do with the Eternals thing. Because, Thanos is an Eternal.
Yeah.
Or he's the child.
Well, that's probably a pretty cool meme.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it's going to...
Is it going to be current?
Yeah, like maybe go onward. Also, nothing more from Captain Marvel. That's weird. I mean,
unless it has something to do with Shang-Chi. I don't know who the fuck is Shang-Chi.
I have no idea. That name does not ring familiar. And no Fantastic Four.
Just fucking having a
I know, Mario was
like Shang-Chi,
you idiots.
Duh. Iron Fist. I'm just joking.
Oh god.
No, I'm just joking.
That one did so well.
It's probably something good. They didn't have discount Chris Pratt as the protagonist this time.
That's the last Chris they're missing.
But yeah, so there's that. Oh fuck, there was something. What the fuck were we talking about? Okay, so we talked about Avengers. Oh right. So apparently there was a hint lately, and I really hope this is why I'm glad we do podcasts, so I can do the I knew it. Possibly. They are saying that their rumor has it that one of the post-credits, excuse me. One of the scenes in Endgame will actually have an XMen in it, according to insider details. So we'll see. If it does, then I get to say, I have recordings of you and Mario saying, not a chance.
Okay.
So at least there'll be that.
But there's no Fantastic Four. That really grinds my gears.
Yeah, no Fantastic Four. But I did ask about X-Men, not Fantastic Four. I mean, I asked about Fantastic Four also.
I mean, Shang-Chi, I guess, is just a guy. Like he's.
Is it? Yeah, no.
Shang-Chi.
I guess probably. I don't know. It's just weird though. Is he in the Avengers? I don't think so.
I just looked it up.
That's just weird for them to just throw that in the MCU. But I guess, I mean,
appeal to markets.
Yep. So there's that. One thing I watched recently, even though it's old already, was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about Ant-Man and Thanos. That they were asking about it on. Well, they asked him about it. He didn't want to talk about it.
I know.
He didn't even know about it until they talked about it on Star Talk. But they were just like, "What do you you know?" And he basically gave the answer that Mario gave, which was
super glutes.
Mario was like, yeah. Basically, Mario was like, I mean, he's super strong. It probably wouldn't kill him.
And why would you?
Wouldn't be dumb enough to let that happen.
Well, I like his answer too. Like, why would you even put yourself in there? Why
Bingo. Yeah, that's the thing I like is the fact that he was just like
put the fucking space needle up his ass.
Anything else? Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that Neil deGrasse Tyson he just like lolled at it, but at the same time he was just like, that's so stupid in a very Tyson fashion.
I hate that this is gaining steam. Like they're asking
it's not.
Paul Rudd.
It's not. That was April 1st, so it clearly hasn't gained steam because no one's talked about that dead ass meme since then. No, that meme was already beyond dead at the time.
It's still you'll still see those stupid memes pop up. And
I don't because I follow people.
Oh, that's true. No, I don't think I follow any meme pages.
No, I was talking about the people you follow aren't people.
Oh,
that was what I was implying. Your friends aren't real people.
Oof, take that. But Twitter friends.
Is Twitter the greatest community of real people? Of course, the trailer for Stuber dropped since the last time we recorded. It actually dropped, I think, like right after we recorded.
Yeah, like the next day.
Yeah, but anyways, that looks interesting.
I'm excited.
The concept is odd.
It kind of has that 30 minutes or less vibe, but
it's either going to be really funny and good or really cringy.
I don't know, man. Batista, I think he has that comedy thing nailed down. Like his Drax is
but that's the thing. I do also feel kind of bad for Batista because I mean I'm glad that he is getting traction on that. But his more serious roles, like in James Bond, was pretty good, and no one seems to remember that. So
because he's Drax, that's why. Think about how many people were like, "Oh, Batista's in 2049."
Well, actually, it sucks even more is most people don't even know he's a wrestler.
Really?
So there's that.
Didn't he just? Anyway, no, it looks funny. Camille Nanjiani's funny. Batista's funny. I think it's going to be good. I like how the trailer clearly edits the fuck out of the fuck.
Yeah.
Get the out of the car.
Yeah, I didn't even try.
Good job, man. Just say it. Nobody cares.
The latest trailer for The Lion Kick. The Lion Kick is that's the new Disney movie, The Lion Kick.
Listeners, please make that a meme. I need a Lion Kick.
So yeah, The Lion King news trailer just dropped. At least when we're recording this, there's so much time breaking shit just because we keep saying just dropped, but by the time you guys hear this, it's almost like
a week,
several days old already. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, news trailer for The Lion King recently dropped. It looks good. I think it's an interesting take on it. I hate the fact that people are still calling it live action because there's no real animals in it, so I don't know how it's
a CGI movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's an animated movie, guys. It's
just modern anime. I know. Like, what's the gripe?
It's weird. I don't know. People think that it's real animals because they believe everything they see. I guess
it's only been 12 years. I think
so.
Yeah. Hey, fun fact on that. I don't know where I was reading this, but it just came up in my thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. Apparently, The Lion King was animated by Disney's B team because they thought that Pocahontas was going to be the bigger movie, so they put the A team on that. Joke's on you, Disney. Where's your live-action Pocahontas, everyone?
Oh,
even though we just said it's not live-action. But no, it looks great.
I was going to say, what?
It looks great. I'm excited to see... what's his name? Seth Rogen is Pumbaa.
That'll be really interesting. Funny. Seth Rogen, Eric Andre,
wow,
the dude who plays Mordo, as you were explaining to me.
Oh yeah, Scar.
Yeah, which is Scar and Donald Glover Simba. It'll be interesting.
Eric Andre's Rafiki is going to be hilarious.
Is he Rafiki?
He has to be. Who is he?
I don't think he is. No, Rafiki was another dude. I think. He's some character I've never heard of. Azizi Zoo or some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of it. Anyways, it's probably an OC just to throw Eric Andre in there.
Yeah, right. That's cool. Good. Give Eric Andre money.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Speaking of money, recently a entrepreneur has announced that he's going to buy an island and start an IRL Battle Royale. The games are going to be called Hush Hush.
I saw that.
And in which case he's going to buy an island, and he's hiring people right now. If you guys are interested in helping him design the game and the mechanics itself, even though it's a real life game, you can apply at his website. He is actually hiring people to work on that, so you'll be doing that. He's going to buy the island. The premise is the fact that it's basically going to be a 3-day long airsoft game. Elimination of however many people are going to be on there. I don't know if they specified exactly how many people are going to be involved in the actual game itself, but
I'm not sure
if it's anything like actual Battle Royale. I guess 100 technically, but it's going to be a big island, so that's probably why he's thinking it's going to take people a while to find each other.
Well, it's 12 hours daily.
They're going to have special armor, so that way you actually, when you take the hit, you get a bit of haptic feedback, and you actually feel it, like a decent amount of pain, I'd assume, without actually having to shoot the actual person in the face with the actual thing. The prize, of course, if you end up being the winner chicken dinner, you get $130,000 US. So there is that. So if anyone wants to try that whenever it launches, I'm sure he's going to be taking applications for you to go out there and do that. Because this rich man is bored. That's literally the only thing.
Yeah, this is one step away from the most dangerous game. This is the most dangerous game with not live ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. And it's cool, it's fun, I mean. Apparently there's going to be something like that at Outpost. I don't know if it's airsoft gun or laser tag, but neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very, very cool, yeah.
All right, and as we're approaching 30 minutes again, it's time to get into the actual gaming news. Trailer for Moons of Madness came out. I think that looks really cool. Moons of Madness, it reminds me of a little bit of Alien Isolation mixed with Doom's premise. Because it doesn't have the shoot bangs of Doom, but it does have a lot of the, it looks like everything's going to shit, kind of hell all of a sudden breaking loose and
you mean
taking
OG
over the space
Doom
station.
or Doom 3 or New Doom?
Literally the same Doom premise they cut and paste in every game, which is hell on Mars.
Yeah, I know.
Literally every Doom game has been hell on Mars.
But New Doom,
so I don't know. It's just it has hell on Mars. I don't know. I don't see any difference between any of the Doom premises. It's all hell breaks loose on Mars.
I guess the individual games, because Doom 3 is terrifying. The lighting and the aesthetic is just, it's very creepy.
I mean, in that sense, I guess. But I mean, I was talking about the premise.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which still has hell on Mars.
Yeah.
So
because you're right. New Doom is just shoot bang. You don't have to reload, which I love.
I mean, I guess Doom 3 did have more of a horror aspect to it, but I don't know. I still shoot banged everybody in Doom 3.
I did, but it still scared the fuck out of me. I was a child when I played it. No, Moons of Madness looks fucking great. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether there's going to be an actual combat mechanic or if it's going to be pure true survival horror in the Outlast style.
Yeah.
Because you see a scene where he has a crowbar, but he's using it to open a door, and then there's another scene where he has a knife, but he uses it to break away or break whatever the fuck suit he's in or some shit like that. He does some meme with it. It's hard to tell in the shot.
I hope it's not.
But I think that without combat's always scarier than with.
Yeah.
So, or not without combat. I mean, combat itself, but I mean without weapons.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, but that one looks really cool. I'm excited. Moons of Madness. I know it's announced for PS4 for sure, but I don't know what other platforms.
I wonder if there's going to be a madness factor to it.
That would be kind of cool because every
meter.
Every Cthulhu game that's had that has been awesome. The latest Cthulhu game had that and it was pretty cool. Then the one for original Xbox, despite being pretty broken, had a cool...
balancing, yeah.
Oh, no, it was not even balancing. It was just on a technical level. There was a lot of glitching, save files being corrupted, just the game crashing and not working.
No, I mean, you had to balance your sanity.
Yes. Yeah. So, and they had that in the latest one, too. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I suppose, considering the name of the game, that would actually be appropriate, so one would hope.
Yeah.
Bless Unleashed was also dropped a trailer recently. It's interesting that Bandai Namco is making Xbox a game that looks like it should be on PlayStation.
Yeah, right?
I appreciate Xbox trying to actually attempt to get at the weebs again, because they did get the weebs' attention on 360 with a couple of games, but they, like Earth Defense Force and stuff, but they didn't really go all in. And not that they're going all in this time, but it's interesting to see them take on that, MMO genre.
Yeah, Blue Dragon was cool.
It is going to be free. Well, but Blue Dragon was just an RPG, though. But the fact that it's free to play, of course, like most free-to-play games, is going to give it a better chance of survival than if they were to charge everyone $60 off the bat. Anthem. And so if you're going to give someone a jank game, not that it looks jank, actually, it looks like great, decently polished. It's going to be action-style combat, kind of, not Dynasty Warriors, because it looks like there's going to be actual combos. Well, I mean, Dynasty Warriors has combos. So, I guess, like, semi-Dynasty Warriors-style combat. The classes are a bit generic. That's a little thing that I was a little... I mean, the overall, like, idea seemed kind of generic in terms of, like, plot and...
very straightforward.
And, yeah, but not bad, especially for a first... It's a very safe game, so it might do well.
I like the random like big boss battles in the wild.
That looks pretty cool. Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff that's going to kind of whether they have raid bosses or anything that'll initiate a kind of like community thing, kind of community battles. Stuff like that would definitely work out. Like I played a lot of Terra Online, and that looked really, like kind of reminded me of that kind of experience.
Yeah,
action RPG style with typical RPG elements. So that'll be really cool. It's running on the Unreal 4 engine, so it should be looking pretty sharp in terms of how modern that's why it looks so shiny, I suppose, is the best way to put it. If you have an Xbox One X, you can run it in 4K, so that's really good. And the thing that was a little weird about the trailer was just how, like, it was a no-nonsense, like, really straightforward trailer. First of all, it wasn't for PlayStation because it was in English, which usually the first... look trailers for PlayStation are like 100% of the time in Japanese originally when you'll see like this early on of a trailer. But in this case, it was just an English overdub of what was going on. They explained the mechanics. That's actually one thing I did like, though. They did kind of go through the idea of how the combat system worked, the magic, and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, I think Mike's picking that up.
Oh, shit.
It's just going to be like the last 15 minutes of that. John was playing with an orange, just in case you guys do hear this thing going on in the background for like the last 10 minutes. That's what that was. Just so you guys know, there wasn't like the mic was fucking up or anything. It's just that there was an orange bouncing in the background. But yeah, I mean, I hope the game will be fun. It does look pretty good, so we'll cross our fingers on that. Hopping back to PlayStation, Control looks pretty cool.
Control looks bomb.
It is, of course, by Remedy Entertainment, who worked on the modern Max Payne's, Alan Wake, and Quantum Break, so good resume.
All great games, yeah.
Yep, all of them really good. It kind of seems like they're going in a mix of, like, Max Payne meets Quantum Break in terms of, like, they're going to have, like, it kind of reminds me of both at the same time.
No, I got that vibe.
It's got cool, like, it's, the premise of it, of course, is future world, persons developing superpowers, where the world itself seems to already be affected by said powers. So, I don't know, it's going to be really interesting.
The floating bodies made me think of Death Stranding, since
nobody
knows what the fuck that game's about anyway.
Yeah, but I was going to say, the difference is this is actually a real game. So, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, no. Actually, the later trailers of Death Stranding actually explain a lot of stuff and actually showed, like, what the game's going to be like. So, I mean, that joke was probably relevant in 2016 when it was first announced. Yeah. But they've developed Death Stranding a lot since then. So that's a bit of a dated joke.
I'm a Kojima faithful, so, you know.
I mean, I would be if he wasn't as big of a liar as Ed Boon or anyone else. So
I mean, Ed Boon faithful, too.
But, what was I going to say? It's going to be on PS4 Pro, so, of course, just like we were talking about Bless, 4K goodness, so the high-resolution graphics on that one should look pretty good. Seems to have a lot of focus on the gun, almost looks like a modular-type gun or transforming gun, so that's kind of cool. I don't know, it's interesting.
Given the narrative, wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you do see it transform a bit in the trailer a few times. I like the fact that the actual gameplay was being shown instead of just pre-rendered nonsense, although it is early build, so a lot of that stuff can change.
Yeah.
But yeah, unlike BioWare, Remedy is not dropping the fact that they do like to do pretty interesting narratives, so the story should be pretty well written and focused, like Quantum Break, so I'm hoping that the narrative itself develops properly and is interesting, so I'm hoping that it's as good as it looks, because it looks nice. Mm-hmm. Of course, I believe IGN had the hands-on with it. I think it was IGN or Polygon.
I think it was IGN.
IGN, and they said that it felt good. So that's always the number one thing in video games, is the fact that so many things can look good and sound good, but if it doesn't feel good, then it's, always actually the worst because it can make a game like completely unplayable. But from what the reviewer was saying, it did look like it was pretty good.
Yeah, so. I want to see how they integrate the powers and the puzzles.
Yeah.
The guy, during the demo, he mentions that he got lost in a labyrinth and didn't get to play it. So I want to see how that.
Yeah, I would like to see games kind of go back to the original. Not that this is survival horror, but that kind of puzzle, like the original Resident Evil and the original, in Dino Crisis or any of those era of games where you actually had to remember where things were. You had to remember actual documents. It didn't just auto write in a journal.
Yeah.
For you or do
Dino
easy
Crisis
mode bullshit like that.
Oh, remaster that.
I wish that would be cool, but
That'd be sweet.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough demand for that, so I don't think they would do it.
Hashtag bring back dinos.
Oh god, that would be cool. I don't know. Dino Crisis was an awesome series.
Yeah.
For a while, I actually played it more than Resident Evil, just because even though they were terrifying still, I had an easier time with the dinosaurs than I did zombies, so...
Dinosaurs are cooler than zombies anyway.
That's true. The trailer for Concrete Genie dropped. At first, the art style kind of reminds me, it almost had like a Psychonauts-ish feel at the beginning, with like kind of the deformed kids and shit. But later on, as the gameplay actually showed, it actually reminded me a lot of Contrast. I was wondering if it was by the same developers, but it actually wasn't, but it almost has a very similar gameplay style to Contrast, so I thought that was... I don't know, it looked interesting.
It's cool. Contrast was fun. It looks cool.
I think that the premise is a little generic, like kid getting bullied, so
it makes his own friends.
Kind of does... Yeah, that part was a little ham-fisted, but...
Chosen one.
It still does look pretty good, though, so hopefully that one will be a fun play, despite the... And hopefully the story will be better than it looked in the trailer. That doesn't always mean it will be bad, but I just didn't care for the way it...
It seemed a little set up. You're like, okay, where's the turn going to happen? Like, what bad creatures he going to release or draw or whatever into existence,
Exactly. And I guess it probably is going to have that twist just because it's almost inevitable. So we'll see.
Still better than Knack.
God, hell yeah. Well, then again, didn't they announce another Knack? Isn't that probably what they're going to announce at E3?
It's been announced,
I think I was going to say that's probably all they're going to show.
What you've been waiting for, Knack 2.
Because Knack was such a great game.
Silence.
Yeah, no, God. I think that Diablo Mobile got a better reaction than Knack 2 did.
Hey, bad press is still press.
Cyber Shadow trailer came out. That looks really cool. Yacht Club Games finally making another game other than Shovel Knight, because Shovel Knight was great. And they did have a good run with that, so it's nice to see them do their... Essentially what looks like their take on Ninja Gaiden. I really like the aesthetics of it, everything. Yacht Club always makes really... Well, all the iterations of Shovel Knight have been really good, so I think that this game should be awesome.
This is the side-scroller one, the Metroidvania style?
I don't know if it's Metroidvania, but it is side-scroller.
Okay. It reminded me of, was it Axiom Verge?
A little bit.
Especially the way he comes in the pod. I was like, oh, I loved it. I like those kind of games. Those are fun.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
Yeah, that should be pretty cool. Rad, of course, looking pretty damn appropriate name. Because, yeah.
Hey.
It's had a pretty much like an 80s homage feel to it. Synthwave pumping in the background.
Yeah, it's fucking wave
neon,
as fuck.
yeah, neon fucking color scheme and all that stuff. So it looks really cool. Top down, beat 'em up game, I suppose, with the cool twist, of course, being the mutations. I thought that looked interesting. Each character seems to have like a powered up form.
Yeah, that felt like a Dynasty Warriors game.
Well, I did say beat 'em up, so I suppose technically that is what it is. But the thing is, though, not every... I don't know. To me, saying that kind of shortchanged it, because it also... I mean, Dynasty Warriors also has a different system in the way that they do it, so I don't know. But the gameplay did look pretty fun. The dude with the bat is probably the character I'm going to be playing with, and then, of course, the soundtrack sounds awesome, so
yeah. In
general, that should be the game to play, even just to hear the soundtrack. That's the one thing about a lot of indie developed games, they tend to have a really killer soundtrack because they actually realize that that's an important part of it and then put budget into it, unlike major AAA developers who like to just put generic bullshit score in the background, violin nonsense, instead of having an actual uniquely composed track. So I don't know. I think that sounds really good.
This is a Double Fine, right?
Rad?
No?
Is it? I don't know. I don't remember seeing Double Fine tagged to it. I might be wrong. Now I need to check because I don't remember. Checking. It is... I don't know. It doesn't... Didn't say. I don't think. Oh God, it found like a really old game.
What?
Called Rad. I found a bunch of other bullshit called Rad. But anyways, I don't believe. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm probably super wrong. John might be right. Maybe it is a Double Fine.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It is.
It is?
This is the second week in a row that I totally didn't... I overlooked one of the things that I normally would be hyped about because Double Fine's awesome. Well, that explains why it's good then, and it has a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
So, now, fucking mystery solved. Now it actually explains why, because it's from a bigger indie studio that actually gives a shit, and good on Schaefer for getting his work in. He always makes really good games, so I'm excited for that.
Mm.
Remnant from the Ashes dropped the gameplay trailer recently showing off the co-op. The original trailer for Remnant kind of... I still don't understand what the setting is for Remnant. It's like demonic Van Helsing style world, but then everyone has shotguns and other shoot bangs.
Yeah, it's like Blood
so
Helsing.
It's kind of a mix of both, I suppose.
Hellborn.
Yeah, something like that. It's going to be from the studio Gunfire Games, who... Now, they're a bit deceiving in the way that they mention their... credits, because they said from the people who make Darksiders, but the thing is they only made the latest Darksiders. Now, Darksiders 3 was good, so it's not like it's a bad thing, but I find it odd that they make it sound like they worked on all the Darksiders games, but actually they just worked on Darksiders 3. Even though the gameplay trailer showed just 2-player co-op, there is up to 3-player total, and the game does scale and is suited for 3 people, so that should be pretty cool.
Nice.
I don't know, the mix of guns and monsters is always awesome. We talked about Doom earlier, and just games in general that do that again. It gives me a very, like, a more modern Van Helsing vibe, I suppose, is what I get from it.
Yeah, and it didn't
Van
feel like
Helsing,
a shoot
goddamn.
bang.
Is it Van Helsing? Is that the one with the guy with the crossbow?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Helsing's the anime. Okay,
Helsing's the anime.
So Van Helsing, yeah. So it gives me a Van Helsing...
The Hugh Jackman vehicle.
Yes, that one. So it gives me that. I don't know. It looks like it's like... Also, the world does seem post-apocalyptic. It's kind of a hybrid of several things. It's like post-apocalyptic meets like Vampire Hunter kind of gothic type deal. So I don't know. That should be pretty good.
I don't know. The main or the thing they were fighting had like a Wendigo Norse god feel.
Yeah, I know. It's got like a little bit of everything. I don't know. I think that the fact that it's so general might actually be... It should be really good, actually.
Had a nice blend, yeah.
Rage 2 dropping a new game, finally dropping. I don't know, is it the first one's the first one I saw of actual gameplay, so that trailer ended up looking pretty good. I don't think you ended up seeing it, but
it looked... I watched a bit, but
yeah. It looked really nice. Rage 1 was awesome. Just had a few save spot problems, but other than that, it was really good. Rage 2 looking really, really doing the Mad Max formula right, and not pulling bullshit shenanigans on like another post-apocalyptic loot shooter that's coming out in the near future on Epic Game Store. Of course, they have, since it's being made by Bethesda, who also published, and id, who obviously Doom. Mm-hmm. They have a Doom reference in there with the BFG 9000, which is going to be a alternate version of the classic Doom gun, making a cameo appearance in there, but the same studio, same publisher, so not a surprise.
Yeah. And
the gameplay itself looks really good. Color scheme and everything looks like a really awesome mix of bright with like a gritty color scheme at the same time, so that looked really, really nice.
I really want to play Rage 2.
Another timeline-breaking thing, because this will probably be out by the time this goes up, so you'll know that we recorded this ahead of time. But apparently on Reggie's last day, which is going to be April 15th, a few days before that, which may or may not be the day that we're recording this, he's supposed to possibly do one final Nintendo Direct.
Aww.
So that would be a good way to send him off. He's always known... the greatest memories of him will always be his embracing of the memes, and Nintendo kind of picking up a lot of steam because they've been able... They're like that social media page that does memes funny enough or correctly. Most companies that try to pull that stuff kind of have issues with marketing in terms of being actually funny without causing a whole PR nightmare.
The only one who does it well that I've seen is Arby's. Arby's nails that shit.
Arby's, Wendy's, and then the fucking Sonic page all kind of do a pretty decent job of it. So, I don't know. I think that would be a nice send off. Reggie's a cool guy, and I'm glad that he helped Nintendo in the social media aspect and promotion side of things the way that he did. So good on Reggie. I think that that's a great way to send him off. And when he is finally done with the company on the 15th, that'll be a sad day.
Yeah, he will be
missed. But hopefully Bowser's a cool guy and will take over properly. Going on with the Nintendo news. Game Freak holding a contest to name a move in Pokemon Sword and Shield, which also means that development has not wrapped up, or they could just patch it into the game, I suppose. The contest will allow you... They are just taking name suggestions, is essentially what the contest is. It's not like you have to draw something or submit anything per se other than the suggestion itself. The move is going to be a Steel-type move, which means that nobody cares because Steel Pokemon suck.
Whatever.
And it'll do 120 points of damage while reducing the Pokemon's HP by 50%. So fuck that trade-off.
What the fuck? That's terrible.
Yeah, so you can name that move, which I would name
Bullshit
Trash
Cannon.
Fire.
Why would you... Okay, that's cool. So obviously Sword and Shield is going to be a lot more Steel Pokemon, which is cool. I think that's the... Besides Fairy, which is new, that's the lowest tier of Pokemon in there. But...
Doesn't Fairy beat Dragon?
Shut up.
For those who don't know, John loves his dragons.
I'm a dragon trainer. Stupid.
He imagines them, you would say.
Whoa. I'm gonna have to give you a Nickelback for that.
But, oh god. The modern day Nickelback. But, yeah, so that's a thing. I don't know. I think that the problem with naming contests is just the fact that you just get... Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think it's a bad idea, but we'll see. We'll see what they... Of course, they still get to choose the move, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like the fans are voting on it. They're just submitting suggestions that we'll never hear about, and then they're just going to choose one,
we'll
probably.
Hear about it if
and we don't even know.
To say.
No, we won't hear about it because they'll never tell us what was submitted, so we actually won't hear about it.
That's
like
true.
I'm talking about it in a factual sense, we'll literally never hear about it because they're just going to announce the winner, and then that's it.
I'd like to see a list, though.
It'd be nice, but I know.
Call it erectile
I don't think
dysfunction.
Nintendo is gonna do that. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So this is the one I was surprised about. Shadow of the Tomb Raider didn't do as good as I thought, especially because it ended up getting. It was an okay game, but it ended up getting discounted a lot heavier. Games that get discounted so soon is primarily due to lack of performance. But according to the studio, it's apparently did well, at least what they consider well enough that they did promise a sequel coming up soon. My problem with it is that so far in the current reboot of the series, it's been really good. The first one, just self-titled, was great, and then what was it? Rise of the Tomb Raider was even better.
Yeah.
They took the puzzles and actual tomb raiding content to another extent, and that was really, really good. So I was happy about that.
We had Jesus too.
Yeah, they had all that stuff. Well, but that was introduced in the series before that, though. They had the fucking Spear of Destiny and all that bullshit
I know.
In the previous entries. But I feel like I'm one of the only people who knows that because I'm probably one of the only people who's like played literally every Tomb Raider game.
And so this made me a Tomb Raider fan.
But this series has been really good, so it'll be good to see. My qualms with it just being Laura's kind of blatant stupidity and character inconsistencies in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Like, she just became this bloodthirsty, like, I don't know, she'll do a thing where she'll be like, no, how could I kill a person? And then pull out a fucking M16 and just maul an entire room of people. And it's just like, you just said that you weren't sure if you could kill a person, and then you just actually murdered an entire small family inside of this house. Like, I don't understand. It was just weird. They were trying to move the storyline along that way, and just stuff like that just made it really kind of stupid.
Yeah.
The inconsistencies were just really, really bad. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know where your expertise of Tomb Raider goes.
I played the reboot, regular Tomb Raider, and a little bit of Rise. And like I said, it made me a fan, because I wasn't on board when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I like it. It's a good action balance. I hate making this comparison, because everybody makes this comparison, but it's like the Uncharted series. But I honestly think it's better than the Uncharted series.
I don't understand how that's a thing.
Because adventure, globetrotting, treasure hunting, blah, blah, blah. Tomb raiding.
Well, I don't understand that, though, because that actually doesn't make any sense. That would be like saying that Battlestar Galactica is like a Star Wars ripoff.
Or like Halo is Gears.
Star Wars is a Battlestar Galactica ripoff.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, because I don't understand. How is Uncharted Or how's Tomb Raider like Uncharted?
Because they both hunt tombs.
Excuse me, hold on. What year did Uncharted launch?
2002?
And what year did the very first Tomb Raider come out?
96?
So how...
No, I know.
So how... I ask again.
I know.
So how is Uncharted... Or excuse me, how is Tomb Raider like Uncharted?
I hate making those comparisons. No. Modern Tomb Raider is like Uncharted.
That makes no sense.
That
Uncharted literally ripped off Tomb Raider
I know.
to make a franchise. I don't understand when people say that. It actually makes no sense.
It's just Nathan Drake's a guy.
Yeah, he's just man-spreading Laura, so that way he gets to take all the credit for fucking creating an entire fucking genre.
I think I've seen that Rule 34.
But yeah, so I don't know.
No, Tomb Raider's. I love the direction the franchise is going. I haven't played Shadow. Maybe that's why it's called Shadow, because she's like super aggro and like. Rrr.
Possibly, I don't know, but the story doesn't really entail anything that would make her be like that, though. She's already, like, with all the shit she's been through in the first 2 games, she should already be over it and used to it. This should already be the developed Laura, which doesn't make any sense that she's still having these struggles. But I don't know. Let's see. Sims 4 and Moschino having a collaboration. That's an interesting one, considering a clothing brand. It's not the first time a gaming thing has collaborated with fashion, but it's interesting because it's the first time I would say that I can recall gaming collaborating with high fashion in a while. In terms of like official collaboration.
Who is this high fashion studio?
Moschino?
I'm a pleb.
Okay, well anyways, they are the... So you have like Gucci, and then you have like Versace. Mm-hmm. And then that's great value compared to Moschino. So you have that. So you have so it's interesting. The only problem is the clothing line in itself. It's basically more of a video game theme, more so than a direct Sims look. It seems, but the awkward screenshots that they use seems to be. Well, not seems to be. It is taken from Sims 4. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It looks like a really forced collaboration. Is the only problem. I think it's nice to see stuff like this when it's done right, but in this sense, it almost seems like they just paid Sims 4 to use the backdrops, and that's it.
Really?
You just have a bunch of models posed awkwardly. I mean, you got to see the pictures on that. You can see them right now on the screen.
Yeah, let me pull this up. Hold on. Oof, that's that looks like that deep fake KFC Colonel now.
Kind of. It's just one of those things where it's just awkwardly placed on a fucking Sims backdrop for some fuck all reason. I don't know, it's just really weird.
Are they doing it to push Sims 4? Is that what...
Well, no, Sims 4 is like super old. But I mean, they could be, I guess. I guess that wouldn't stop anything, but it's one of those things where I don't know, it just seems like an unnecessary collaboration. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It'd be nice to see more good collabs.
It's a cool idea, you know, like, but yeah, hopefully it'll open the door for you know, like, let's have a Gears of War, or no, that's something relevant.
No, I was gonna say maybe not Gears, but I get what your point is.
Yeah,
your point well taken. Some news that we missed from PAX that happened and announced recently that made me laugh. But we'll figure it out in a second. Wooly and Pat and Castle Super Beast, I was following the backlog on their podcast, and they brought this up. So I wanted to bring it up too since we had missed it. But Xbox One. Microsoft announcing brand new Xbox One, the Xbox One S All Digital. Now, what would the acronym for that be?
That would be the Xbox One SAD.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Pat and Wooly pointing that shit out and making me laugh really hard. Despite the funny title, which again, they were saying at this point it has to be intentional, but although I can also imagine Microsoft just be totally oblivious to that. Yeah. But
oh, come on.
But I like the idea, though. It's basically going to be... So the Xbox One S is already at a cheap price point at about $200, which is not bad for a current-gen console.
Not at all.
Especially the fact that it does output 4K and all that stuff. So that's really good.
Yeah.
This is going to be an even cheaper price point, which is insane. Because if you're thinking about this, and this is good from Microsoft's point, because guess what? Even some people who have a PS4 already... If some titles actually do start dropping for Xbox, and you can say that you can pick up an Xbox for, let's say, they haven't announced the price yet, but let's just say it's $150. Mm-hmm. It's hard, like cheaper than a 3DS. I
was gonna say that's next to nothing.
Half of a Switch,
like a Game Boy.
It's not a bad price point.
Is that because...
And all they're doing is just removing the disc drive because they realize that, guess what, most people buy digital, or it's also good promotion for their Xbox One Live Game Pass, which has a decent amount of good games on it.
Yeah.
So the fact that most things are all digital now, I think it's a smart idea. And then again, at a company that has nothing to lose at this point in terms of their sales being decent but not quite, PlayStation 4 numbers, this is a good way to bolster them without fucking yourselves, because they can obviously afford to do this. Microsoft has all the money, so they can.
I can't wait till Sony copies it and gets all the credit.
I was going to say, yep, that's a sad thing, is no one's really talking about it, which is why it even flew under my radar.
Yeah.
But the bundle's not too bad though. Again, I'm guessing the price point's going to be at $150, but it'll be sub $200 for sure, because the regular Xbox One S is already at that. The reason I call $50 less is because a blue disc player drive costs about $50-$80 now.
Yeah.
So you figure if you cut that off, that'd be about what it is. But it's going to have a 1 terabyte hard disk drive. Very cool, because they do understand the fact that it's going to have digital, all digital. Of course, I believe it still should have the typical expansion of up to 6 terabytes more via external hard drive, assuming it still has USB ports, which it should.
Yeah, which is a wise investment, by the way.
Yeah, and the other cool thing is it's going to come with copies of Sea of Thieves, Minecraft, and Forza Horizon 3, which is cool, too.
Yeah.
That you're going to get those 3 games right out of the box.
Stop pushing Sea of Thieves on the Xbox. I don't want to play.
Wait, why not?
I just didn't want to play. I tried it out. I had fun with it, but it's just something I don't want to get invested in.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, because Sea of Thieves is fine. I don't know.
No, it's just because I see that all the time on my dashboard.
Oh, right, you play Xbox. That's why. Okay, well, I guess since I play Switch and PS4, I don't see any. That's what explains why I don't see any of it.
I had no problem with the game. I just
okay, that makes more sense now. I was like, what's the context of that? No, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I do like the fact, though, that Microsoft did bundle 3 franchises that they actually own instead of trying to push, doing something but Sony and Xbox both do that at E3 all the time, where they'll show a trailer for a game that's on all platforms that they have the PlayStation or Xbox logo at the end, as if it's an exclusive, but it's not. It's expected to drop in early May with a projected May 7th release date.
May of this year?
And
nice.
And it looks like the Xbox One S, just minus the disc drive, at least based on the artist render. So we'll see. But good on them. I think it's going to be a cool platform, and a lot of people who may want to try out for Horizon 3 or Gears of War remastered or anything like that, and just didn't want to shell out the $300 to $500 and want to get one at a cheaper price point, even cheaper than the Xbox One S. It's cool.
No, I like it. It's a brilliant move. Xbox changing the game again. I wonder if GameStop's going to sell it.
Who knows? Who knows anymore in this world? If GameStop's still going to be a company when it drops in May.
Owned.
But
no, I like that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool. Again, Microsoft always... I forgot who was giving them credit for it. Who was it? Oh, it was on the German Collision podcast, and I have to give them kudos for that. But they were basically talking about how if Xbox has the hardware and the tech, that if they had the games, they'd be a really good console. Or adversely, if PlayStation had the tech, they're both, it's what keeps them both alive, like we talked about in the last podcast, is the fact that they're both kind of lacking in different departments.
Yeah,
so,
where one sells, the other is like, meh.
So it's a good thing that they, I guess, to each their own. And I am glad that there is a console for different types of players.
You had to cancel Scalebound.
I know, right? But I'm happy now because I have a Switch, so if that rumor ends up coming true, good on it. I don't give a fuck. My Xbox can still continue to be a doorstop for all I care.
The fuck, Spencer?
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order being announced in a very obscure teaser showing a broken lightsaber, what looks like a broken lightsaber, on top of some glowing symbol meme.
Yeah.
The tagline being, "Don't stand out."
Well, be different, just like everyone else.
Be different, just like every other EA franchise.
So I saw that and I was like, "Oh, cool! Is this a teaser for the new movie?" Nope, it's not. Damn it!
But teaser for the new game. It's going to come out.
That's cool.
Following all the good Anthem news and
I was going to
Battlefront.
say, so how much is it going to cost for me to unlock the Jedi?
So to play the game, it's going to cost $80 on top of the initial $60. No, I'm just joking. That would be insane, but also not surprising.
Before we start taking a big dump on EA, you're a surviving youngling, right?
Yes, correct. You're the one survivor of Order 66.
The lone survivor? Which further goes to show that Anakin could never get a job done right, for those of you who read the comics.
It's a bit funny that actually does continue that trope.
I know. Everyone loves Vader. He's not that cool. I love Vader, though.
But yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. There's gonna be yet another thing that'll probably be out by the time this episode drops. There might be a trailer dropping for it with more details this past weekend.
Yeah.
Which would make you wonder why we didn't cover it, except for the fact that we just recorded this before the weekend.
Record a weekend.
But yeah, there you go.
But
and apparently Respawn's working on it, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
down.
at least there's that, because Respawn's good, guys.
At least the gameplay will be fun.
Yeah, exactly, at the very least. On things that aren't fun...
What about Anthem?
Actually, a fellow failure in Borderlands 3 news.
How dare you callously discard Troy that way?
I know, that's it. So, Troy Baker, voice of Reese in the original series, has been recasted, and according to him, he had no clue until he saw the trailer, was how Gearbox, the great studio that they are, decided to break the news to him, which they didn't.
I know.
Despite this, he does say that he hopes to return to the series to voice Reese in a future installment, although I would have just said fuck them and taken a shit on them because Troy Baker doesn't need any more work than he already gets.
Yeah, but he's Troy Baker, nice guy. So.
But yeah, Troy Baker's a cool guy, so, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, not nice guy, cool guy.
I really wish that they... Yeah, he's a nice guy too. But I don't know why that's... I think we're just jumping back to that point. But
especially with
I don't know. There's just... It's just so shitty when companies just decide, well, this is our IP, we can do whatever we want with it. But to do something like that, just tell the guy you're not going to recast him. It's kind of like with Tara Strong and Bubbles when they did the new Powerpuff Girls series.
Yeah. Where
she was kind of like... I mean, I didn't really... mind the fact that they just recasted everyone, but you know, a heads up or even an invitation for me to decline would have been nice.
A fucking phone call or a text, an email, anything. How much?
But the fact that exactly, she went through a similar thing that Troy Baker's going through now, where she kind of just learned about it once everything was announced already. So there's that. Rough shit.
Rough start, Borderlands 3.
Yep. Speaking of unexpected success, I think I meant to tag this after the Tomb Raider story, but fuck it, it's coming out now. No Man's Sky's developers talking about the delayed success being a pleasant surprise. It is.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing is, I mean, No Man's Sky did get good, and I really do like it, but the thing I'm always worried about when games pull this delayed success thing is the fact that, again, it sets precedents. You know, Anthem can now say, well, we're going to get to that level eventually. And whether they do or not, it does give them the ability and the open floor to say, we could get there, or we will get there.
I'm gonna stick
the problem is
to
it's easy to talk about in the future.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. No Man's Sky recently in the news again, talking about how much better it's gotten since launch. Reviewers kind of, and other gamers going back and playing it and realizing that ever since the Atlas Rises expansion, next expansions have dropped, that they've been pretty damn good. It's a good game. The game finally being what was promised in the initial launch, which begs the question of, if they didn't jump the gun and sat on development, would it have been as good? Because, and this is just destroying my argument more that games should wait, but I feel like the pressure to turn the game around may have made the expansions better than what they would have been if there was no pressure, if the game was a smash hit off the bat.
I agree. Well, it's just, to an extent. Because we don't know... It's that what if. Like, we don't know if it would have been a great game off the bat. It still could have sucked, even if they waited, like, another few months.
It's true.
But you're right. I think the pressure to give the gamers something worthwhile is what pushed it to be so what it is now. Give that quality.
Right, because it was do or die at this point.
Exactly. Like, you better fucking give us something or you're out.
Exactly. But, I don't know. Good on them, though. No Man's Sky is cool. Like I said, I just kind of hate I hate how it's kind of letting other developers get to go, no, we're going to get there. Us too.
No Man's Sky did it.
Yeah.
No, Anthem. Yeah,
it'll get there too. Or Fallout 76's roadmap also.
I hate this.
I know, it sucks. PlayStation Network finally dropping the name changes recently. I believe as of the podcast, it would have been recording would have been yesterday.
Yep.
Now you guys know when we recorded it. Oh no. But so there's that.
That's cool, I guess.
It's presenting the issues that Pat talked about this. Goddamn, like a long time ago. And I guess it's just took PlayStation that long to drop the name changes after announcing it. First of all, this should have been something that should have been there since day one, because Xbox has had this shit since like the 360 launch, so I don't know why name changes took forever.
Yeah.
However, it is kind of obvious too why, because doing your name change. So they had a workaround of it. The initial concern is the fact that changing your name could actually break games from before a certain year because it wouldn't be able to process the name change because it doesn't actually change your name. Which is why it lets you revert to your original name. Because what it actually does is it basically just masks the name. All it does is the equivalent of this. If I take this piece of paper and write your name on it, and then I cross a line through it and write that's basically all they're really doing. It doesn't actually erase the first one. They're just masking your name to have this new one. And because of that, it was going to cause older games to fuck up, crash, or just completely not work because it doesn't recognize the name. And it's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Because this new name's there. So they couldn't actually completely change it. So now all they did instead was they just announced the fact that not all games will support it. I believe it's before Sony. I want to say before 2015 or 2013 or something like that. So now those games will just, I believe, if I understood correctly, just display your old name and just say fuck it and not even give a fuck about your new name change. So your cringy MCR 2009 420 screen name will still be that in older games.
Mine was Taking Back Fun Day.
So yeah, you'll still have your old cringy names if you play older games and stuff like that. And in certain parts where it might break the game, they're just gonna not change it. So what the fuck? I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. It almost makes it seem pointless now. On top of it taking fucking forever. And then of course you get your first one free, as you do for Xbox as well. But one thing I do like that PlayStation's doing, I don't think Xbox does this, so one thing I do like is, like Xbox, you can pay $10 to change your names, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, it only costs $5.
Oh, that's nice.
So, shit posting and then masking yourself in a game is going to be easier than ever to do. So you're going to be able to do that.
God damn it.
So we'll see. But yeah, no, you can change it now. I mean, it's cool that it lets you do it, but at the same time, it's kind of weird that it shows you how. It's like seeing that the foundation of your home's completely fucked. PlayStation looks so nice and polished on the outside, but these kind of issues are just like so. It's just bad old infrastructure. It's like, why?
It just seems so moot too. Like, I mean, are you going to change your name?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I like my name. I've had the same gamer tag for like a decade now. So.
Yeah, I've had mine literally since I was like a little kid because I made up that name on fucking dial-up. For some other thing. It wasn't for games, that's why I kept it. But
this is my AIM.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You remember AIM, don't you?
Oh god, AIM. Yeah, I know, mine was on AIM too. Mine was before AIM was a thing. That's how long I've had that screen name.
That's how old we are.
But yeah, there's that too. But yeah, so there's that. In PUBG news, apparently someone was trying to stream snipe, which is one of the shittiest things you can do to a streamer by trying to play a game with them and then using their stream to screen peek, essentially. They were doing that to PUBG streamer, well-known streamer, Shroud, and the guy got banned. Not Shroud, but the guy who was stream sniping got banned for doing it.
Good.
Yeah. Justice served.
I was like,
one of those nice, clean, cut and dry stories where someone was being a shitty person and then got punished.
There you go.
If only more things were like that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole story. I just thought it was great to mention because... Good.
Accountability. Good job.
Yeah. Yes.
Fuck, that's so terrible. Why would you do that? Well, I can understand why, but don't be shitty. Just play the fucking game. Get good.
Exactly. So there's that. One thing I was going to mention, I almost forgot to mention it. It was on the docket, and I almost forgot. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm having like an aneurysm as I built this because I totally forgot to mention the fact that I don't know. I'm doing the news thing.
It is still very early in the morning. So.
Yeah, no, it is actually. So you hear a lot of my ums and uhs in that I have in the early part of the podcast, especially. That's why. Okay, so the re-argument and re-evaluation of the Sekiro difficulty argument. So of course, you and me were on this. We were on the side of
Team Get Good.
Yeah, exactly. However, on the Gym Inquisition podcast, they actually made really, really good points as to not necessarily. So they're against an easy mode, so we're all on the same page there.
Mm-hmm.
However, they had a compelling argument of don't do an easy mode, but one where the game is known for being excessively and brutally hard.
Yeah.
Maybe having like you have Sekiro, the default difficulty, and then maybe a Dark Souls difficulty. So it's still challenging, but not to the point where it adds some things that people may consider asinine that make the game more difficult. because there are certain aspects of it. A lot of the things that make it difficult for Souls players and why they consider this the hardest game is that it has a lot of focus on everything that you were taught in Dark Souls. You're supposed to just throw all that knowledge out the door because it plays completely different. Mm-hmm. I kind of see where they're coming from, but again, it's really hard for me to explain why that should be a justified thing. Of course, they also made clear, so I want to make clear for them, they're not demanding this be a thing. They're just saying they don't think it would hurt
just an option
for it to have a slightly less, not easy mode, but slightly less difficulty mode. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
Here's my counter to that. So, that would be like saying... Okay, so let me tease this out. That would be like saying, for the first Dark Souls, well, let's have a Ocarina of Time setting. You know, here's all the things you learn in previous games. So we'll have that set there, but you can also learn how to play the new game. Well, why not just learn how to play the new game like we did when Dark Souls came out, you know? Nobody was good at Dark Souls when it first came out, but you got good. You learned to play the game.
Those people are
a grip on the mechanics.
And those people who are still so good at the game now is just insane.
Yeah, like I'm terrible at Dark Souls, but I still play it. You know, like Bloodborne's that's the one I actually got good at.
Yeah.
The same argument falls into Sekiro. You just learn to play the game, and I understand if you don't have the time or you don't have necessarily the I don't know.
Some effort. Of it does. Well, like so here's where it came in, kind of where it's something you can't help sometimes because everything you named you can help so far.
Yeah.
One of the issues with Sekiro is that it's so hard that it actually does require reflexes that the average human probably doesn't have. Now, the game may not be built for the average human. I do understand that part of things. But in that sense, reflex is something that isn't always easy or possible sometimes for certain people to develop. And in those type of things, I can kind of understand.
See, I wanted to say that. I just wanted to like ostracize anybody.
Of course.
Because I approach this from anybody can do it kind of thing. But yes, there are certain physical attributes and mental attributes even that not everyone possesses.
Right.
So that I can understand. And from that standpoint, there should be an all-access pass, if you will. So it's not a terrible idea. And if you have played Dark Souls before and you were able to adapt to that, then maybe adding that level of intensity to Sekiro, if you wanted to play it, would be a nice happy medium.
Yeah. That's the thing I'm wondering. Yeah, I know. And it's one of those things where you kind of like, I was so gung-ho, and then hearing someone make a good argument made me think a little bit instead of just, brashly smashing my head through everything. So, yeah. And of course, they did mention the fact that another thing on top of it is the fact that everyone's attitudes about it is what's sour.
Well, that's not how it always is. Just like...
Yeah, no, that's just the gaming community in general. But still. I did talk to Josh about it. Josh is, unlike us, an actual seasoned Souls player who's played everything. And I don't know if he beat Sekiro already. I want to say he did. But, is playing it and not complaining. Well, I mean, he's talking about how hard as fuck it is. But just, going, rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was definitely opposed to the proposition of any difficulty selection at all. So there's that. So he's really into that game. He's been into that community for a while, and so that's his opinion versus ours versus another podcast. So there you go. You get those three aspects. And even though this isn't the main topic of the night, I do want to know your guys' thoughts on it. So definitely shoot that email to disconnectedcastmail@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts on that, because it's a really not as black and white as I thought it was.
Yeah. Hit us up on Twitter, let us know, do you think games should have an easier setting if they're too difficult for some people?
Exactly. And so before we go into our final segment, let's take a word from our sponsor. Is that okay, John? Can I do that?
Yeah, that's perfectly okay.
All right. Now with John's permission, here we go. All right. Radio Public is a app on iOS and Android to listen to podcasts, including our own. And when you listen to them on there, it actually supports the podcast directly. So make sure to check them out in our link in the description below. All right, back at it. All right, so addendum. You just heard the sound effect you just heard, which means I'm actually cutting this in we have a few things to add. One of the stories I actually forgot to mention earlier, and then the rest of them are actually breaking news coming out right before we ended up publishing this. Let's get started. Mm-hmm. So, the Sonic movie.
That was my
according to IGN, there was actually a sneak preview of teaser, if you will, of something that's not released to the public, actually for like a private screening. I'm guessing press and whoever else. And one of the guys from IGN, I believe it was IGN, was there, and an account of an account is what ended up happening in the video.
Yes, it was a secondhand
telling
relation from someone who works at IGN of someone else.
Yeah, and so basically what their whole point is it sounds so ridiculous, it almost sounds made up, but apparently it's accurate, this account. And now it was posted, first, of course, I did what a good researcher and air quotes journalist should do, and I checked to make sure it wasn't an April Fool's joke. Of course, it was posted on the 5th, so either IGN's super late to the party, which wouldn't be the first time, or it was probably real. So,
God, I hope
the controversy behind the Sonic movie actually stems back to before this. It was when that movie poster last year dropped, and everyone really just lost their minds over it because it looked weird.
Awkward, to say the least.
It was very, Sonic's already anthropomorphic, alright? So, this goes back to the old Detective Pikachu, how everyone looks. I like that. That photorealism animals thing, that's kind of cool.
But he looks like a Pikachu.
That's a way done well. I think the photorealism of the Pokemon in Detective Pikachu, that's the way it's done right.
Yeah.
The way Sonic looked in that poster was kind of what it would look like if it was done wrong.
Yeah, right. Like a 5-year-old was like, "This is my Sonic interpretation."
Yeah, that was really, really not the best.
No.
But anyway, so that's where. So there's already been kind of a sting of that. Plus, it's Sonic. It's just really hard to do a live action thing without it. The chances of anything, no matter who handles it. So when Sonic Mania came out, a bunch of fans made a better Sonic game than the actual Sonic team had done in ages. Mm-hmm. This is kind of that example where I don't even think a really good fan crew could do a good. I think live action in Sonic cannot be a thing. I think that's just a thing that should not be.
It doesn't translate well.
Right.
It
I
could.
don't know. I'm on team. I'm on team. It couldn't. I think get the people who worked on the MCU to do it, and it still wouldn't be good.
It just looks so. I don't want to say wrong, but the word that comes to mind is horrific. It's just it's just seeing Sonic presented in a live action way. It's just like, oh my.
There was no way for that.
No.
Yeah, basically, there's no way for it to be great.
Yeah.
But getting into the actual story, so according to the account, James Marsden is apparently a detective guy, and he's gonna. I guess he's probably gonna do a weird cop buddy team up with Sonic.
Go is the Teddy, idea?
Yeah. And so there's that, and apparently one of the scenes is as fake as this sounds. Apparently one of the actual scenes in the movie is that it's a POV scene of Sonic, I guess running through the forest or running through the world or whatever, and he exclaims, "Gotta go fast!" And then it's playing Gangsta's Paradise in the background as this is happening.
First of all, none of that is gangster. It's about as gangster as Gangsta's Paradise.
Got him. And with the thing, yelling. Okay, so there's a point where there's such thing as being too aware.
Yeah.
And when Sonic yells "gotta go fast" in a movie where it's just like they're trying too hard to meme, it's the equivalent of when they inserted "I'm the Juggernaut bitch" into XMen 3.
At least that was kind of it was one bit in the whole movie.
Oh, one meme instead of the whole movie being a meme?
The whole movie being just littered with meme culture. Is Ugandan Knuckles going to pop up somewhere?
Jeez, could you imagine?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. They probably had to call him something else for PC's sake, but...
Ghana Knuckles?
Yeah, oh, man. If they did, that'd be fucking wild, although I can also see it happening.
That might improve, actually.
And then apparently there's another scene with revealing Jim... Oh, what the hell? Why is this... Oh, God, why is this... Why?
What's happening?
What's
happening?
There's something was happening in the background. Okay, so
anyway,
that was fucking wild. Okay, so my TV got possessed
a little bit.
But yeah, so according to the accounts, apparently Jim Carrey. I didn't even know Jim Carrey was even in the movie.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a bizarre thing to hear about. But apparently, Jim Carrey is going to be Robotnik, according to this. And one of the first scenes with him actually as Robotnik. Apparently, there's like a pre-Robotnik scene, and then he becomes Robotnik.
Like the bald
something like that. Kind of like that. And so, apparently... He in one of the first scenes where he's actually bald Robotnik, it's like playing CNC Factory's "Everybody Dance Now." It just seems like a 50-year-old exec like being hip with the meme culture and being like. So there's two kinds of doing that. You have people who do what THQ Nordic did, and then you have this.
Which is both cringeworthy.
Exactly, in their own different ways.
I'll be honest, having Everybody Dance Now in a scene with Jim Carrey doesn't seem too out of place.
No, it doesn't if it wasn't Robotnik and it wasn't Sonic. You have to understand that in the Sonic lore, not that I'm like a fucking great god of all the Sonic knowledge.
We're going to have to do another action cast.
But we gather from the narratives that Robotnik's actually a real piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like evil.
He's actually evil.
Yeah,
like he's like good. Trapping animals, turning them to mechanical robots for a meme. Yeah, I believe he's done stuff like that.
And the I guess it was a mole from the cartoon.
Yeah, like he's fucked up. Which I mean, I'm glad that they're not making it like a Super Dog movie. I don't think a Sonic movie should be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The whole mega meme thing just seems a little too try-hardy. Is that a good way to describe it? It's try-hardy?
Yeah, you're right. Although, now that you bring all this up, I wonder if Jaleel White's going to be in this, since he voiced Sonic.
You know what? Because Jaleel White was probably the most beloved and a good Sonic,
yeah,
I bet you he's not.
I know, exactly right. No, we can't have him. People don't like him.
People ask, oh, fuck my ass. Oh, God.
Everything is collapsing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think that... Jesus Christ. This whole attempt to do this has been wild. Anyways.
It's been fun.
I lost my train of thought.
So,
right. So
too try hardy. Yeah, I agree. It's way too. Let's appeal to them kids. Let's try and get all the memes we can.
John's laughing because I'm having a crisis right now. I don't know what's happening.
Hey, it's not as bad as my faux pas, so don't feel
the faux pas that shall never actually be revealed.
You will never hear about.
You'll never know how this take originally went.
Right. But no, yeah, I think it's very try-hardy, and it's so on the nose. It's like you're punching someone in the face with memes.
Right. So I can hear the beards of the neck being scratched, and the arguments are getting to come in. So I'm going to address this now. The Sonic social media pages are pretty funny. They're very self-aware. They kind of do what this movie should, or maybe is trying to do, but does it well.
Yeah.
Where they kind of are very memed out, very self-aware. They do stuff like Sonic and stuff, or like April Fool's Day and stuff like that.
See,
that's
Sonic's
fun.
Funny, yeah.
But I just don't think they're going to be pulling that magic here. I just think it sounds really not great. But guess what? We'll find out on November 8th, everybody.
Yep.
For anyone who's going to go see that, we probably will.
More than likely. Just because I have to. It's one of those, it's like a rubbernecking on the highway. You know?
Exactly. Moving on to the next story. So Jason Schreier, we talked about him last time, the whole Anthem expose, revealing the poor work conditions, kind of like the whole Red Dead development, and thus what kind of led to the trash fire that was Anthem. Mm-hmm. He's a very reliable source. Jason Schreier of Kotaku almost any insider info he's not a bullshitter. Jason has his sources, which he very professionally keeps private.
As one should.
Has always come through with pulling in some clutch stories. Now, in all the kudos I have for him, he's delivered some worrying news as of late. According to him, in the current state of affairs, we talked about Dragon Age, I believe, last time. Mm-hmm. And we touched on it, and I was saying that I was worried that it might become a live service, bullshit, whatever. Yes. So, according to Jason Schreier, at the current state of affairs at the moment, Dragon Age 4 is looking to follow the path of Anthem. And, we don't know if it's not going to actually have a good story. We're assuming as such. But what we do know for sure is it looks like, according to him, that they are going to go into the live service games with a roadmap bullshit. We're talking about lackluster base game, and we're talking about DLC roadmaps, promising content that's not even in the game yet. We're talking about just all that sorts of terrible stuff, microtransaction at the ass, like Battlefront style. it's just it's not great.
Well, it's what you come to expect from a Dragon Age game. You know, microtransactions and incomplete story.
It's just really sad.
It is. Come on, BioWare.
Like, Dragon Age 4 is like their last ace in the hole. I hope that all the kind of like, everyone's been up in arms ever since these Jason Schreier's kind of mentioned this kind of stuff. And everyone's been up in arms about it, and I hope that they do rectify this and hear the bad press, because I think Dragon Age is going to be... Dragon Age 4 is going to be BioWare's last hurrah.
It's a
for better or worse.
Yeah, this is a death knell, man. That's... Microtransactions? Come on.
Yeah, something that this game has never really been about. It's had DLC, but those were always fine in the game. The base game has always felt complete.
Yeah.
Inquisition was great.
Yeah,
so.
Inquisition's fun as heck.
So, yeah. Going into better news, Jedi Fallen Order, which we talked about earlier in the podcast. Obviously, these are add-ons that we're doing. Has since dropped the trailer, and we got to see it. What did you think about the trailer, John?
I like it. I think graphically it's great. There wasn't a lot of...
real quick footnote. Yeah. It is all pre-rendered footage, so we didn't get to see any actual gameplay.
That's true. I was going to say. We didn't get to see any of that, but it is a Respawn game, so I can only expect that there's going to be...
That's what I'm actually excited about, and that's actually why this is going to actually be a positive story.
Exactly. You know, Respawn has done well, proven out the gate that, you know, they can give you some fun gameplay. So
yeah, their worst faux pas so far has been Apex Legends Battle Pass, but that's just fucking growing pains.
Yeah, that's not even a huge issue. Like, it doesn't detract from the game itself, which is fun. So I think, what's it called? Fallen Order?
Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order is going to be fun. The narrative should be cool. The failure of Schmanigan with his Order 66. Mm-hmm. Good job, Mr. 1.
And this one may be a big part of the narrative, the alternate universe anyways narrative. So
yeah, it feels like an EU story. You know?
Yeah, so it's exciting. We talked about it already. Respawn's going to be involved there. So one of the cool things that they did confirm is Respawn did speak up and said that it is in fact going to be a single player first person game with a good story. Take notes, BioWare. They're going to do what you guys were known for and should be doing. Mm-hmm. They're probably going to... I'm hoping that they deliver... Now, this is a bold wish, but if they can even do something remotely related to it, a KOTOR-style quality to the game. Something nice and juicy and good. Don't be like KOTOR. That's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is KOTOR delivered quality, expanded universe, Star Wars stuff. Do the same with this. They have the right idea. It's great. And I saw a tweet. I'm not sure if it was a fake tweet or not, but apparently this is now everyone called me out for fake news. If this is fake, I am saying that I did not verify this tweet just because I saw it right before we recorded this. Of EA's official Star Wars Twitter. I think they do have a Twitter for not Jedi. I think for like Battlefront or whatever, where they actually do say, guys, they confirm Respawn statement of this is not going to be a cringy shitfest. This is going to be what you guys want, basically.
So it's not Battlefront?
In essence, yes. It looks really cool. Again, we saw a bunch of pre-rendered footage, unfortunately. I'm sure that they haven't even begun production, actually. They have, but it's very early stages.
Not even
very early.
Maybe to the alpha test or beta test?
No, it can't be, because that would mean that we have something to play already.
Okay.
Alphas and betas are stuff that the player base gets to play already.
Okay.
So they're definitely far before that. We have... Speaking of Jedis... Go ahead, John. Take it away.
Oh, man. I am beyond excited. A new Star Wars game always gets me going. Love those titles. In fact, I'm playing OG Battlefront 2 right now.
Nice. But what are you excited about, John? You haven't said.
I am excited about the rise of the Skywalker. What was it? Force Awakens got me hyped. Great to see the beginning of the new trilogy. Last Jedi, I was like, alright, we'll see where this goes. And it's not a bad movie. I hate that people take a big old dump on it, but every narrative choice in there makes sense. But Rise of the Skywalker, man, this trailer just... This one has me going. I believe it takes place a year after Last Jedi.
I believe so. I thought it all looked cool, but I'm not quite in there. Just like the Avengers cast, I sit back there and I'm like, I like the movies. I don't know much about all the other stuff, but yeah.
There is a part that everyone's going, pretty nuts over. It's the near the end where you hear the Emperor laugh. And whether or not that's simply because you see the ruins of the Death Star, and what I'm assuming has to be Yavin,
I
correct
believe
me, Yavin. I don't think it's not Dagobah.
The Dagobah system.
Right. What's the name of the Ewok planet? That escapes me right now.
Disneyland.
Yeah, right. But I think it has to be Yavin because it's a more complete Death Star. Endor, thank you. Yes. I know
things.
I don't know because it didn't seem as foresty as Endor, and I think Yavin's a little more swampy. But that's neither here nor there. I was looking over the cast list to see if Ian McDiarmid was a part of it because if you have the Emperor's Laugh, you have to have the Emperor,
and
right? Something I found that I was kind of disappointed with. Gwendolyn Christie is not slated for episode 9, which tells me that Captain Phasma will not be there.
Or if they are, they're going to pull, what was the Borderlands thing we talked about earlier?
Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that to Brienne of Tarth.
But go on.
That's kind of a bummer because she did kind of receive the Boba Fett treatment. Everyone was like, "Oh, she's this generation's Boba Fett."
Okay,
and that's like,
what if
Huh?
What if the Emperor has nothing to do with it and they just threw that shit in the trailer?
Oh, I think that's what it is. Yeah, no,
you think it's a fucking red herring?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just like, oh, there's the Death Star. Oh, look who was a part of the Death Star. It was the Emperor.
Jared Leto's the Emperor.
Oh god. Oh, ooh. He's. I mean, the Emperor did clone.
The Emperor just goes, let the hate throw through you.
I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you real. Oh god. See, but
Jared Leto as young Emperor Palpatine.
He's a middle, like super, even younger than Episode 1 Palpatine. But it's kind of a tease if they are doing that, just because here's a shot of the Death Star and here's the Emperor's Laugh because of the Death Star. Because Death Star. If you put that in there, it alludes to the fact that, well, maybe the Emperor's going to come back. Since you call it the Rise of the Skywalker, well, what Skywalkers are left? I mean, technically just Ben, but he's, I guess, by name a Solo. I.e. Kylo Ren, for those of you not in the know.
Man, what a spoiler.
Right? But it's kind of a shitty tease, because one big part of the EU is that the Emperor had, clones ready to come back. And that would be a great inclusion in this if the Emperor's clone comes back.
Hell yeah, boy. Because,
fuck Snoke. The Emperor was cool as shit. Emperor was one of the coolest villains ever, like in any series. Mm-hmm. But that's getting off tangent here. Like, we're doing almost a mini cast,
right? Let's get back
Star
into
Wars
it.
Cast here. No, I'm very excited. I think this one's going to be great. I believe what's his face, J.J. Abrams is directing again.
The J. Abrams is back.
I have high hopes for that. It looks cool. I'm excited to see this narrative wrapped up and the whole Skywalker saga wrapped up finally after 50 years.
That's it.
But
the Return of the Walker,
right?
God, that's the next movie.
No, I think it's gonna be good. I think we got a good one here.
Hell yes. Oh, random thing I'm going to throw in before this story. Idris Elba apparently DJ'd at Coachella. Now, this is not a story that would normally go at the beginning of the podcast, but these are all add-ons, so we're going to do that.
Cool. We'll tie it in some video game.
But dude, Idris Elba DJ, man. That would have been worth going to Coachella at all. Yeah, Blackpink was there. That's cool.
All the way to Coachella for that alone.
Dude.
That must have been, if not the biggest crowd, one of the biggest.
Idris Elba fucking doing all the things. It was great.
Cool guy, man.
So... the final story on the add-on docket, we have Horizon Zero Dawn inadvertently being spoiled by someone that a sequel is coming out.
Yes!
So we're hoping for more developments on that. There's a few stories I read, but I didn't have time to verify all the exact details, so I'm not going to go into that. But what I will say is that it was... Now, Guerrilla Games did not officially announce this. It was leaked by someone supposedly involved with the game.
Okay.
So, they say that from what they know about it, people will be absolutely floored with Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Really?
So, Horizon Zero Dawn being one of the best new IPs in a long time. It's not a goddamn sequel.
You ain't kidding. No, goddamn, what a great... that was a fantastic... That one floored me initially. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that fun. The search quests were nicely teased out and had you explore enough to where it didn't seem tedious.
Yeah.
And it was cool lore. it's great seeing how humanity's transformed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, spoilers. I can't wait to see what happens between Silence and Hades. I think he's going to make a great antagonist if he's the only one.
So that's a very good spoiler warning because, man, did I not expect any of that at the end.
Yeah. I know, right?
Dude, that was wild. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where they go from there. So, we'll see. All a big tease for now, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, and we're about to segue back into the regular podcast, which is clearly going to just cut all of a sudden because the tone shift will be major. And we're going to cut in right now. Rolling towards the final thing, this is a really hard one to segue because it's a pretty serious topic. I was really contemplating getting into this, but here we go. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
But before that, the one before it isn't so much. You'll see why I hesitate to mix these back to back, but I also didn't want to... it'll make sense.
Yep.
Just listen, John, you'll see. So recently, Fortnite removed So they have a cool idea where they have custom creations by the community, and they have a part of the world where you can go to those called the block.
Okay.
And in the block, you can... they have a featured area that's like a really cool custom work that someone in the community did. Mm-hmm. So they have that, which I thought was really cool. Well, a user called Fury Leaks did a really cool spooky mansion-esque map there over Grove. You can tell that, it's been abandoned for a while, kind of spooky vibes.
Nice.
Really cool stuff. However, there's implication of suicide, and it was recently removed for the questionable subject matter. Mm-hmm. And the reason I mentioned this story is because of our final topic, in which a PUBG player in India killed himself because they weren't able to play the game. This is a 16-year-old kid, and his mother didn't, like any responsible parent, so I'm not going to fault her by any means.
Yeah.
She was just doing what a parent does, and said that he had to study for his big English exam that was coming up, and that he was forbidden to play the game until kind of school's over. You know how it was. I wasn't able to play games until all the homework was done. And I was even only then able to play for a limited amount of time.
It's just the way it is.
And, or was. I don't know if... I still hope things are like that, and it looks like it still is in some places. I just, but and that's aside the point. So anyways, so the kid killed himself. And it caused a big stir in India, who was already kind of iffy about games like PUBG and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so there's actually a national debate on whether or not it should be banned. And some regions actually already have banned PUBG, and it's illegal. Like, actually go to jail for playing or getting caught with PUBG. So
damn.
It's a tough one. Anything involving suicide isn't really the easiest thing to kind of talk about, because no matter what you say, you're kind of already handed a loaded gun, you know what I mean, in terms of topic.
Let's not use that phrase.
Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus
This
Christ.
is a heavy topic, to be
I'm
sure.
probably just going to cut that part out, but yeah.
This is a heavy topic. Okay, so on to the first subject. That is possibly an aesthetic chosen by the artist's own. I mean, obviously it's something they chose, and that could be something that they maybe dealt with, or they feel is spooky or appropriate for the subject matter of the horror aesthetic. Mm-hmm. But since it's a publicly circulated area, I don't think that's necessarily the wisest direction.
Where a primary user base is really young.
Is children, yes, who, especially with the subject, with everything they're introduced to today, it's, I don't know, man, suicide it's taken a turn. Like, back in the day, someone killed himself, it was like, wow, okay, that's harsh. It's still the same now, but
of
it
course,
just seems a lot
as
more,
it should be.
It seems a lot more prevalent. And it seems like a lot of younger people really take that out, and it's kind of heartbreaking, because it's, you shouldn't end it all like that. So adding suicidal imagery to a game primarily based and marketed towards children it's not the best take.
Exactly.
So
and I think that's what it was. Again, it was a player creation, but of course Epic Games just taking the route of not wanting to take risks of people not being able to understand the concept of separation like that.
Yeah.
But I also see where they're coming from, because if it was purely from an entertainment or artistic but not necessarily relatable point of view, Epic Games just didn't want to push the idea of them thinking that suicide is a good popcorn chewing subject matter, and thus they would just rather not take the risk.
Yeah, don't not necessarily glorify it, but just don't treat it with kid gloves.
Exactly.
You know, it's a serious
That's a very
subject.
good way to put
It's you know, it's a very touchy, tense subject for a lot of people.
Right.
So I think they made that's a wise choice. You know, take it out. Did they take out just the imagery, or did they take out the whole?
That level just got taken down because it would be hard for the level to exist without.
Okay. Smart move. I mean, sorry.
Just to play it safe. Yeah, Fury Leaks did a good job. Apparently it was a pretty cool map, and it's not your fault, I don't believe.
No,
unless you were, obviously if you were intentionally being a troll and trying to make fun of it, then obviously, but in this case it didn't look like that. They were just playing it safe, so.
There was something that came out not too long ago where someone got accused of telling kids, was it Filthy Frank? I think Ethan touched on this.
Filthy Frank didn't do it. It got cut into a kid's video.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, but it was
Filthy
about
Frank. Had nothing to do with it. Other than being the clip was used.
Other than being clip. Yeah, that's what it was. So no, that's a touchy subject, and it's in that instance that I just mentioned, it can get blown way out of proportion.
Exactly, and then that's the thing. So speaking of news kind of carrying, and argument is going to be whether or not this is as serious as it's being taken. Should it be taken serious? Should it be taken less serious? That's the kind of where we're leaving the open-ended floor for you guys to answer. But with the main story of the suicide,
moving on to that,
it's tough, and with the thing, of course, the nation being outraged, it's really tough because this gives it's once again video games causing bad thing to happen, yada yada yada. Obviously, it wouldn't really be fair to say that the kid that's passed has caused this issue per se. However, in the most literal extent, clearly that action they did has brought it into the limelight and everything again. So it's one of those things where when cases like this happen, whether it's a school shooting, any time that video games can be thrown under the bus, they seem to do that. Mortal Kombat's violent, so the fight that was caused at school the other day was because the kid was trying to imitate Scorpion and rip someone's head off.
Did that happen?
No, that was just a made-up example. Okay. But the thing is, the video game's always in the news whenever it's not doing something good. No one talks about Microsoft's adaptive controller, where it helped the kids with disabilities play video games they normally couldn't.
That's so cool. I like that.
But people will talk about this.
Well, yeah, the news focuses on the negative. First of all, condolences to your loss.
Of course.
This feels like they're using this tragedy as a scapegoat in order to ban something that they disagree with, or they necessarily don't want people to get influenced or involved with.
They have been wanting to ban it for a while. This is true.
Okay, well, see, I didn't know that. So yeah, that's what this seems like. This is the perfect scapegoat, and that's terrible on their part. Don't take this family's tragedy as a means for your own political ends. Going back to video games causing violence, I don't think the two are related. My armchair psychologist opinion here, this seems like it was a catalyst for something that was a deeper seated issue. I have seen kids react in such a way, which is why suicide is a touchy subject like that.
Right.
And that's why I hate that it's so prevalent in media now.
Yeah,
especially towards young people.
Exactly.
Because I've seen cases like this before where some teenager had something of theirs denied, a piece of tech even, and they killed themselves over it. I don't know. It's really shitty.
Yeah, it is. And so we talked about the last time in a more lighthearted sense. We talked about, addiction to video game, Harry versus Fortnite and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And in this sense, of course, people are kind of bringing up the thing again of people being so obsessed with video games that they'd go as far as to kill themselves so they don't get to play it.
Yeah, and there's the StarCraft players who have died because they just don't stop.
Well, the ones that there was the case where they didn't take care of their kid and the kid died because they were so into they couldn't stop playing. Oh, I think that was WoW actually.
That was WoW. No, I think someone had a heart attack because they took too many energy supplements.
Yes, that is a thing that happened a while ago. Yeah, and probably happens more than we think.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So with that being the case, it opens up the argument again, and I have no. It's hard for me to say. I'd like to say that no, but is. Again, video game addiction, is it actually a thing? That's one of the things that pops up once again because there are some scary case examples where it seems to be the case.
I think removing the whole video games are bad from the politics side, I think it is becoming an addiction. Like how Wally poked fun at people being fat and lazy and just kind of sitting around and drinking everything from a cup.
Right.
That seems to be a route that could be taken using streamed and video game and digital media as a form of entertainment.
Exactly.
You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You're living like what was that game? Second Life.
Yes, Second.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's becoming an addiction if it's not already there.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to end it then. It's sad that, that happened. But, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Does video game, can it be addictive? Do you feel that that's a possibility? It doesn't mean that you are or that it's so easy to happen, but do you believe it's a possibility? Do you believe that bans that are caused through events like this are fair? Your opinion on kind of like the coverage and always ill light of video games in the news? And just in general, kind of like when this type of deal happens, is it being blown out of proportion? Is it not being covered enough? Whatever your thoughts are. And there's all those sorts of open-ended things. Do let us know your thoughts on that. You can hit us up on either social media or on email with your thoughts at disconnectedcastmail@gmail.com.
And y'all, I know that's a touchy subject, but it is a very real one that impacts many people all over the world. We're based here in America, so if you are having thoughts of suicide or any kind of suicidal ideation, the number to call to reach out to someone to talk to is 1-800-273-8255. Please don't do it. Please just talk to someone.
Other than that, where can our lovely listeners find you, Mr. John?
You can find me at Evil Dead Guy on Twitter and at DisasterMan_music on Instagram.
Aside the aforementioned things at the beginning of the hour, is there any projects or anything you want to talk about or promote coming up anytime soon?
Nothing coming up. Just I'm anxious for Endgame to happen. Like ridiculously. Oh god, I can't wait. It's so close, but it's too far away.
Exactly. So there's that.
There's that. Yeah, Patrick.
You can find me on @ZDRocker at most social media platforms. The other projects of mine at SlimAsianEntertainment.com. And you can find all our episodes, past, present, and even future. Depending on when you're listening to this, at disconnectedcast.com. Other than that, we will see you guys every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And until the next episode, we will catch you guys then. Until then, see ya.
Have a great week and take care, y'all.